This is the first desired outcome for the session. The principles of behavior management are grounded in the assumption that people are constantly engaged in learning and that every life experience adds to a person's knowledge base. Every experience influences a person's subsequent actions, both consciously and unconsciously. Behaviors that are rewarded over time are maintained, while those that are not rewarded over time are typically extinguished. The three variables affecting behavior are conditions, the behavior itself, and consequences. Two fundamental principles of behavior management in the classroom to keep in mind are number one, effective teachers spend more time promoting responsible behavior than responding to irresponsible behavior. And two, effective teachers recognize that misbehavior occurs for a reason, and they take that reason into account when determining a response to the misbehavior. In the consequences column, pleasant and unpleasant refer to the student perspective, not the adult. When considering what influences behavior, antecedents and consequences come into play. Initially, use effective instruction and set up conditions for students to be successful by promoting responsible behavior and discouraging irresponsible behavior. After a student action, ensure that they experience appropriate positive feedback when they engage in responsible behavior. For example, give verbal praise, write positive notes, or encourage students to praise themselves. Also, eliminate unpleasant consequences. Ensure that students do not experience negative results from exhibiting responsible behavior. Avoid embarrassing students with praise, and ensure a student is not the target of laughter for making a mistake or for acting responsible. If we look at a behavior in isolation, once you have a reasonable idea why a misbehavior is occurring, you can take actions to reduce and eventually eliminate it. Function explains why behavior occurs. We can now teach a replacement behavior that meets the same or similar function. The child's needs are still being met, but with a more effective behavior or one that works better in school. For example, if a child misbehaves to avoid writing because it is overwhelming, we can teach the student to ask for a break. If you reorder the variables to start with the behavior and why it may be happening, think about conditions around the behavior and what happens afterward. Some examples of preventing negative behavior and teaching desired behavior are: provide lessons to teach the students how to behave responsibly, and modify work that is too difficult for the student who is not completing assignments. Eliminate pleasant consequences. Responding calmly to a student who likes to make adults angry shows a suitable response to a negative behavior, while restitution may be an appropriate way to replace damaged property that may result from an aggressive behavior. Teachers must realize that the student who repeatedly misbehaves is, at the moment, more motivated to misbehave than to behave. Someone who is very skilled at something might find spending time on that skill rewarding. This idea may help educators when thinking about how to reinforce a desired behavior. The expectancy times value theory of motivation states that a learner's motivation is determined by how much they value a goal and whether they expect to succeed. The conditions educators create, or the way they respond to a behavior, can affect a student's feelings on how they should value something, or if they can expect to succeed to a certain degree. This heavily impacts if students are motivated to show a desired behavior. To put this all together, complete the following activity. This allows professionals to pose a negative behavior exhibited by a student to colleagues. Colleagues give ideas considering factors such as antecedents and consequences to improve the negative behavior. You should fill out the last document called Quick Consult Protocol. Any 3 of your coworkers can help. Make sure you answer all of the questions in the debrief section.